Hello, great friends and valid listeners. Thank you so much for today. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you so much for all your support for making this channel become a success. Yes, indeed, you have contributed immensely to making this channel what it is. We see a lot of subscribers, a lot of likes, a lot of shares, and everything you've done to really make this channel go far and wide. Thank you so much. We do appreciate. You mean a lot to us, and we do really appreciate you. Yes, once again, we are Peak Network. We are here to bring you the most latest, reliable, and authentic news that you can ever get within the globe and within the hour. Thank you so much, my people. And also, just to remind you, if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Please do hit the subscribe button and also the notification bell. And do well to hit the ring part of the notification bell so you can get the news as soon as we upload them. Yes, my people, let's go into what we've got for today. The battle still begins. The battle is still on for within the presidency. You know, the Social Economic Rights Group, which is SERAP, has been in battle with President Muhammadu Buhari and Osibanjo, asking them to disclose their assets and what they've got, you know, and, for some reasons, they have not been able to do that. They have not been able to declare that, and the battle now has shifted to the court of appeal, you know, so, because once the case was put forward to the court and it was dismissed, you know, so right now, the case has gone to the court of appeal. So we've got the full details here. We're just going to say it exactly the way it is. Just in a minute, we will go straight into the news. But once again, please do hit the subscribe button and also hit the like button to let us know that you do appreciate what we are doing. Thank you very much, my valid listeners. Let's go into the news. Buhari, Osibanjo's assets, disclosure battle shifts to court of appeal. Buhari, Osibanjo, the public must know your assets, says group. The battle for the disclosure of the assets declared by both President Muhammadu Buhari and Vice President Yemi Osibanjo has shifted to the Court of Appeal. The prime mover for the disclosure, Social Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, has asked the Court of Appeal to order the disclosure undaunted by the rejection of the Federal High Court. SERAP is seeking a blanket order by the appeal court that covers assets declared by all politicians since 1999. A federal high court in Lagos had on 11th May dismissed the application filed by the group seeking an order of the mandamus to direct and compel the Code of Conduct Bureau to make available to the public specific details of assets declarations submitted to it by successive presidents, vice presidents, Senate presidents, Speaker of the House of Representatives, state governors, and their deputies since 1999. Justice Muslim Hassan declined the prayers. Hassan ruled, "I agree with the CCB that the duty to make the asset declaration form of public officers available is dependent upon the term and condition to be prescribed by the National Assembly. The terms and conditions must be specified and related to assets declaration of public officers and not legislation of general nature such as Freedom of Information Act." SERAP in the appeal filed last week contended that the learned trial judge misinterpreted the provision and purport of paragraph 3C, third schedule, part 1 of the 1999 Nigerian Constitution as amended. The judge did not consider that the Freedom of Information was enacted by the National Assembly in 2011 to grant public access to public documents. SERAP also argued that the learned trial judge erred in law by holding that the Freedom of Information Act is a legislation of general nature in relation to public access to asset declarations form of public officers. The judge erred in law when he held that Serap's application is unmeritorious and it is accordingly dismissed. Serap also contended that the learned trial judge failed to apply the provision of Article 9 of the African Charter on Human and People's Rights Ratification and Enforcement Act, Cap A9 Law of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, which allows access to public documents to the facts of this case. The failure of refusal by the CCB to provide the information requested by Serap constitutes a violation of their right to freedom of information guaranteed by Article 9 of the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, Serap argued. The appeal was filed on Serap's behalf by its lawyer, Kolawole Oluwadare Okpeyemi Owolabi and Adelanke Aremo. It reads in part, the learned trial judge failed to determine whether the asset declaration forms kept in the records of the CCB are public documents. The judge failed to determine whether the public interest in disclosing the information outweighs whatever injury that the disclosure would cause the CCB and public officers. The learned trial judge erred in law when his lordship failed to determine the real questions in issue in the suit. The judge failed to determine Serap's freedom of information requests falls within the purview of those exempted under the Freedom of Information Act. Assets declaration forms submitted by public officers are public documents in the custody of the CCB. The CCB is under a legal obligation to provide the information requested by Serap in accordance with the provision of the Freedom of Information Act and the African Charter on Human and People's Rights. Serap is therefore seeking an order allowing the appeal and setting aside the judgment of the Honorable Justice Muslim Hassan delivered on Monday, 11th May 2020. Serap had submitted in a suit number HFC LCCS 1019/2019 argued that asset declaration of president and state governors submitted to the CCB are public documents. Public interest in disclosure of the details of asset declaration clearly outweighs any claim of protection of the privacy of presidents and state governors, as they are public officers entrusted with the duty to manage public funds among other public functions. Disclosing details of asset declaration of public officers such as presidents and state governors would improve public trust in the ability of the CCB to effectively discharge its mandate. This would in turn put pressure on public officers like presidents and state governors to make voluntary public declaration of their assets. Democracy cannot flourish if government operates in secrecy, no matter how much open decisions and debate is allowed. No date had been fixed yet for the hearing of the appeal. So my people, that's the news reaching us. Once again, just in case you haven't subscribed, please do hit the subscribe button and also the notification bell so you can get this news as soon as we upload them. Do not forget to give us a thumbs up as well to let us know that you appreciate this video. Yes, what we've got here today says the Social and Economic Rights and Accountability Project, which is SERAP, has dragged President Muhammadu Buhari and Osibanjo, the vice president, to court again. You know, they are saying that they need the president and the vice president to disclose their assets, and it is good for the country and is good for accountability. And the problem, once again, is, from all what we've heard, the problem again is lack of accountability, and when the presidency operates in secrecy, there is nowhere in the country that operating, or in an organization that operating in secrecy, it's ever going to work. At some point, operating in secrecy can cause an uproar, because the people, the followers, or the members do not know exactly what is going on within the government or the leadership. It is always advisable and necessary for any organization to be open, and I don't see anything wrong in Buhari declare he's the president of the country. People want to know what he's worth. People want to know whether he's using the taxpayers' money for his own personal interest or anything else. Of course, the SERAP, which is the Social Economic Rights and Accountability Project, has said we want to know exactly, you need to disclose exactly what you've got. And it helps the country to move forward. People would know. So when you bring projects, when you do things, people wouldn't think otherwise. And I think it's important for a country like ours, for us to know exactly what the president has or what the vice president has, because that is the two echelon of power in the country. That's the highest seat of power, of authority in the country, and it's quite imperative that the people know exactly the worth, what these people are doing, and their public. In fact, their assets should be in the public domain. That clears everything up. It clears any sort of doubt or anything within the presidency or within the citizens of the country. So, my people, that's the news reaching us. We want you to also have your say. Yeah, we might not be right in this analysis. We might be thinking myopically in one way. So that's why we need you to have your say. We want Nigerians, we want the citizens of this country to have their say. So you do drop your comments in the comment section. Let's have a decent conversation regarding this news and regarding what we've just heard. And with us doing this news, these media outlets gets to the government. They get to see exactly, they get to know what Nigerians are thinking and what they their mode of operation. So, my people, that's the news reaching us. That's what we've got for today. We keep bringing you the news, but do not forget, give us a thumbs up on this video just to let us know that you appreciate us. Thank you so much, my people. Until I come your way again, you take care and God bless you. Bye-bye.